Hi there, this is Mr. Jones, and I'd like to help you today with writing decimals as fractions. Now remember, all fractional answers need to be reduced to lowest terms. All right. For example, if you had the fractional answer 18 over 30, you need to find the prime factors of 18 and 30 so that you can find the greatest common factor and reduce it. Right? 18 has prime factors of 2 times 3 times 3. Right? 9 times 2 is 18, but 9 is 3 times 3. 30 is 2 times 3 times 5. 15 times 2 is 30. 2, 3, and 5 are prime numbers. Okay, so in looking at that, you can see that the numerator and denominator share common factors of 2 and 3, or they have a greatest common factor, GCF, of 6. Okay, so I can eliminate that common factor by division. 2 goes into 2 one time, 3 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. So that reduces to 3/5. Okay, 3/5 is a fraction in lowest terms because the numerator and denominator share no common factors other than 1. Okay, 3 is a prime number in this case. 5 is a prime number. Okay, so the steps that we want to follow, here they are. Let's follow them. I want to first rewrite any decimal number as a fraction that has a denominator of 1. Okay, obviously 1.275 divided by 1 is equivalent to 1.275. So giving a fraction, or a decimal, a denominator of 1 doesn't change the value of the number, it just changes its appearance or form. Okay, so first step, 1.275 is our example. We're going to give it a denominator of 1. Then, second step, I'm going to multiply the fraction that I've created, numerator and denominator, by the power of 10 that will eliminate the decimal. Okay, you may be asking yourself, how do I know what power of 10 to use? Well, simply count the decimal places. All right, in this problem you'll see 1, 2, 3 decimal places. Well, if I multiply by 10 to the third power, then it's going to eliminate those decimal values. So I'm going to multiply 1.275 by 1,000 over 1,000. Okay, so just count the decimal places. There are 3 here. I'm going to multiply by 1 followed by 3 zeros. Okay, and you should know how to multiply by 1,000. You move the decimal point from wherever it is 3 places to the right. So that's going to give me 1,275 over, in the denominator, 1,000. Okay, so I've already changed my decimal number into a fraction. Now I simply need to reduce that. Okay, so I'm going to take 1,275 and I'm going to find the prime factors of that. And if you need help with that, you can go back to the tutorial dealing with factoring. But here I have 3 times 5 times 5 times 17. Those are the prime number factors of 1275. 1,000 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 5. So just identify the factors they have in common. You'll see that they both have 2 factors of 5 in common. Right, the remaining factors have nothing in common. So the greatest common factor, GCF, for this one would be 25. And you can simply divide numerator and denominator by 25, and that reduces then to 51 over 40. 17 times 3 is 51. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, times 5 is 40. Okay, and there's my fractional answer. That's actually the correct answer in an improper fraction. Improper fraction means the numerator, the top, is greater than the denominator, but this fraction is reduced. Okay, there are no more common factors that I could eliminate. Many times, though, you want to take an improper fraction and simplify it to a mixed number. So in that case, you're just going to divide 40, the denominator, into 51, the numerator. 40 goes into 51 one time, so 1 times 40 is 40. Subtract. That gives me a remainder of 11. 40 doesn't go into 11, so that becomes my remainder, 1 and 11/40. Okay, and that's the way I would write my answer. All right? Simple enough? Well, maybe you need practice. How's that? Why don't you go ahead and try the example. Let's call this number 2. So 2.225, follow the steps that I laid out for you, and when you think you have the answer and simplified to a mixed number, then go ahead and hit continue, and I'll check the results with you. Okay, I believe I have encapsulated my answer. Yes, I have. Okay, remember the steps. First, take 2.225 and write it as a fraction with a denominator of 1. Right? Then, since there are 3 numbers to the right of the decimal point, I'm going to multiply by 1,000, 1 followed by 3 zeros over 1,000. That's going to give me 2,225 over 1,000. Well, there is my decimal number converted to a fraction. Okay, but I also want to reduce it, so I found the factors of 2,225. Those are 5 times 5 times 89, and the denominator 1,000, as we did above, 2 to the third times 5 to the third. Well, notice that again in this case there are 2 common factors of 5, so the greatest common factor, GCF, would equal 25. Alright, so essentially I'm going to divide numerator and denominator by 25. That's going to leave me with 89 in the numerator, and 2 times 2 times 2, 8 times 5, 40 in the denominator. Okay, that would be my answer as a mixed or as an improper fraction. But to write it as a mixed fraction, I need to divide 40 into 89. It goes in twice with a remainder of 9. So 2 and 9/40ths would be my mixed number fractional answer. Okay? Well, I think that should give you the tips that you need and the steps to follow for changing a decimal into a fraction. And I think if you follow them carefully, you will do well.